Joining me is John Heinderegger, President of the Centre for American Progress and writer with the terrific Powerline blog. John Heinderegger, always great to see you. Harris's campaign team is saying Harris in this interview with Bret Baier, should I really call it a debate? I don't know. Is saying she crushed it. How do you see it?
Well, that's just very funny, Andrew. I mean, her supporters on Twitter are saying, hey, she didn't have a teleprompter. Look at that. She did the whole interview without a teleprompter, which I admit is kind of a first. But I mean, look, she's terrible at this. There's a reason why she has gone as far as she can out of her way not to give interviews to neutral journalists like Bret Baier. I think because they're seeing the polls worsening, she thought she needed to do this. And her staff, it was supposed to be a half hour. You know, Bret talked about this. She shows up late. They cut it short early. Her staff cuts it off and hustles her away. And this is not because she was doing so great. It's because she's just really bad at answering questions from neutral journalists.
I think the praise she's getting is for showing strength by over-talking and filibustering and saying, don't interrupt me and all that kind of stuff. But seriously, John, everyone looking at it knows she was asked pointed questions that she didn't want to or couldn't answer. So what do you think she's got out of this interview?
Well, she can say she did it. You know, the reality is she doesn't get anything out of it with respect to the people who actually watched the interview. You know, she survived. That's the best thing she could say. Her staff cut it short, hustled her out. She survived. And I think that's the best they're going to be able to say is, hey, she gives interviews.
I think that's probably it. It's a place marker rather than anything, a real achievement. One of the many issues that Bret Baier didn't get time to cover in this interview, I wish he had, was Kamala Harris's blatant racism. Now, there was an extraordinary example this week. Now, she realises she's losing support among black males. That's now really where she's leaking in this campaign. So she's just announced a policy just for them. It's an opportunity agenda for black men, she calls it, with loans just for black men, business help just for black men, and promising to legalise marijuana because black men are more likely to smoke it and get jailed. Is this good racism, John, or is it more of the bad stuff?
Andrew, this is utterly pathetic. They came up with this thing because, as you said, I mean, she is hemorrhaging votes among blacks and specifically black men. And so they cobbled this program together overnight, I think, and it's ridiculous. So item number one is we're going to lend up to $25,000 and then forgive the loans, but only to black men. So that's a gift. If you forgive a loan, it's a gift, but only to black men. Now, that is blatantly and obviously unconstitutional. You can't do that. And so in less than 24 hours, they completely withdrew that program to help black men and said, oh, no, this is going to be open to everyone. So it was another just total fiasco by the Kamala Harris campaign.
So when you see that, when you see the decision to try her luck on Fox News, when you see her terrible performance on Fox News, and when you see the polls, are you looking at a campaign that's headed south at a rate of knots?
Well, I hope so, Andrew. The betting odds, as you know, have widened just in the last week or 10 days. All of a sudden, Donald Trump has taken now, I think, I forget, a 14 or 17 point lead, something like that in the betting odds. But here's the thing, Andrew. There are an enormous number of Americans who won't vote for Donald Trump. Kamala Harris's platform from the very beginning has basically consisted of one point: I'm not Donald Trump. And probably 48% of Americans, some such number, will vote for anyone who's running against Trump, no matter who it is, no matter how badly she does. And so this is going to be a close election. You know, Kamala's a terrible candidate, but there's a lot of people who, at the end of the day, don't really care. And so I think we're going to see this election really come down to a very close finish.
Well, there I was trying to give conservative viewers some optimism, and you came along and shot it down, John Underacre. But that's the common impartial view that I appreciate from you.
Andrew, I don't want to shut
indeed.
it down. I think that Trump is probably going to win, but as I say, it's going to be close.
John Underacre, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Andrew.